It is time for your main event, and it is time for Turf War.
Main event of the evening, 10-man elimination tag team matchup with the two factions that have claimed this as their turf. The two factions saying that they run this part of the country, they run this part of the industry, and certainly team number one, among the most decorated you're going to find anywhere. Premier champion, Ron Mathis, heir apparent, Chris LeRusso, along with the main event, Tony Johnson, the newest recruit, and the premier tag team champion. Look out. Ganon Jones Jr., Duke Davis, the main event, the fivesome known as Chris LeRusso's court on the way to the ring right now.
You know, we've got an interesting matchup, Joe.
Iceman, Tony Johnson, the premier tag team champions, the main event, Ganon Jones Jr. and Duke Davis, the premier champion, the white trash psycho, Ron Mathis, and their team captain, the heir apparent, Chris LeRusso. This is LeRusso's court.
Keep in mind, this was the faction that won the 8-man tag team matchup last month when Tony Johnson came from behind a merchandise table to lead the deciding fall. Keep in mind, it was three of these gentlemen that are the reason. Three of these men are the reason that Otis Cogar's career ended in Premier Championship Wrestling. He lost the fall of a loser leaves matchup. BC, it's hard to deny the domination of LeRusso's court.
Well, there's no doubt about it. You know, since Chris LeRusso came into Premier, it's been all about dominance. And if you ask Ron Mathis, that will go on forever. Forever.
LeRusso's pulling the strings. Mathis referring to these opponents as, quote, spooky nerds. But they're a lot more than that. They are dangerous, diabolical, and deadly. And they are dressed to fight. And an allegiance that we once thought would be impossible, Crummels, Defarge, and the Culmination have been through many wars, but tonight they stand side by side.
Gory, Cornelius, Crummels, and Sonny Defarge.
And look at the wild eyes of Ron Mathis. BC Steel, can these factions function on the same page? They have a common enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, but just sociologically, psychologically, the Culmination and Crummels and Defarge are so different. Can they function on the same page in a matchup that could have up to 9 falls before we have a winner?
Well, we've seen a lot of bad blood, and I mean that literally and figuratively, spilled between the Culmination, Cornelius Crummels, and Sonny Defarge. Sometimes when you go through those wars,
Mathis is very proud of the championships.
Didn't want to interrupt him. Sometimes when you go through that, you gain a certain respect for one another.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a reminder, this contest will be competed.
It's going to explode any second. You can feel it.
Will be competed under elimination rules. Eliminations may occur by pinfall or submission. The match will continue until one entire team has been eliminated.
And also, disqualifications and countouts are also viable ways to eliminate any team members. And you have a lot of eclectic egos. Who do you give the advantage to before we officially hook them up?
Well, I think you're going to have to give the advantage to Chris LeRusso's court. I mean, they've been together since day one. And since day one, they have had maybe some missteps here and there, but we know what we've seen the Culmination against Crummels and Defarge. We've seen those wars that they've been through. There are still scars that they feel, both physically and mentally and emotionally. I would say the same for Ron Mathis, but I don't know if Ron Mathis is ever right emotionally. We've seen what Chris LeRusso's court has gone through with the Culmination and with Crummels and Defarge as well. We know just Duke Davis and Ganon Jones Jr., why they are the tag team champions. We've seen Ron Mathis' stranglehold on the Premier Championship. You know, we've talked about the change in Remy LaVey by Gory. We've seen what Gory's intentions always are. We know that Atticus, wants to get a bit of revenge for the loss of his brother Otis here in Premier. And we have the wild card, Tony Johnson, that I don't know if the Culmination knows how to prepare for, nor would Crumford.
And you know that Remy is acting on a lot of anger and aggression and impulse as LeRusso distracts Remy and Tony Johnson from behind. It was Tony Johnson that kicked Remy LaVey in the face that caused the Culmination and Cornelius Crummels to lose that 8-man tag team match of the court a month ago. This is our first time seeing Tony Johnson legally in the Premier ring.
You know, you got to think about this, Joe. We could have 5-on-1. And you'd have to think that for either team, if they get any numbers advantage, it's going to be worse for the team on the other end.
Without question.
I mean, we know what it's like when it's 1-on-1, 2-on-2, or 3-on-3, or if we've seen 4-on-4. But to legally have that advantage is a whole other story. Oh, wait a minute.
Remy attempts a quick roll-up here. And the possibilities are nearly endless as Johnson comes back with a cradle. Could be 5-on-1, 4-on-3, 3-on-2, 4-on-2. And as this matchup gets deeper and deeper, the risks continue to grow as far as potential injuries, as far as potential lopsided corners, and Tony Johnson with an uppercut. Mocking Remy, and Remy fires back. Mind eraser of the Culmination, now controlling on the main event mercenary, Tony Johnson.
There was a tag made.
Both men separated. Duke tagged in, and in comes Sonny Defarge, the biggest man on either team.
Well, this is going to be power against power on the two teams. We know. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, keep in mind it was the main event that defeated Crummels and Defarge for the Premier Tag Team Championships a few months ago.
Hey, Joe, you know how long Ron Mathis is going to be Premier Champion for? It's like we share one brain.
I can believe that. Well, he's trying to fly.
Well, he believes he can fly.
It's all about this. Took his eye off the ball a little too long. And Sonny Defarge gonna finally shut up that huge mouth. Uppercut!
Oh, it starts already, does it, Joe?
Well, he did an uppercut. What would you call it? And Defarge ready to move in, and I think the official is inadvertently doing Defarge a favor by backing him away from that corner. Here comes Cornelius Crummels and Chris LeRusso, another legal man. Crummels and Defarge with their innovative double-team offense, straight out of the Chikara Wrestle Factory. And LeRusso gets lit up with a clothesline. Is LeRusso the first one out? 2 count only.
What would that do for Chris LeRusso's court? That would be a travesty is what it would be.
They'd be without a leader. They'd be without the guy who's maneuvering the strings, so to speak, the level-headed strategist of the group.
It would be like a...
Drop kick!
It'd be like a...
Wait, cover here. Crummels, and notice Crummels has to take his eye off the court corner as Crummels finds 2.
Well, that's a smart move. You know, without Chris LeRusso's court, without Chris LeRusso, it's like a football team without a coach, a baseball team without a manager.
Here comes Atticus, but LeRusso wanted nothing to do with Atticus. LeRusso's the one that's been saying that Atticus is pathetic. He's a lowlife. His brother deserved to have his career ended. Atticus had his watch tied in the ropes as LeRusso ended Otis's career. And now it's Atticus charging in on 6'5" Pro Wrestling's All-Star, Ganon Jones Jr. Atticus is absolutely fearless. He will charge into the mouth of hell if he has to.
And Atticus is a guy not afraid to stick and move to try and take it to the bigger man.
And knee connects. And Jones Jr. was out before he hit the ground. Duke just tagged himself in, though.
That was a smart move. Smart move. He caught that knee to the face flush.
And it looks like the New Age Plague wants a piece of the metahuman.
Hey, there's no doubt Duke Davis has the size advantage, but
Gory has been fearless the entire time I've known him.
that's the case, but
look at Duke mocking the size of Gory, looking around as if he doesn't see him, but he'll damn sure feel him. Pushes Gory away at Gory. One of the hardest clotheslines in the business. No resistance, and Duke just caught Gory.
well, that was a not advised maneuver by Gory trying to take down the big man.
Gory slips out the back door, sunset flip coming up. Metahuman teetering.
What goes up, Joe?
By the throat. Elevates Gory. Hey, look at Gory. Just slither up the body of Duke. Attempt a Hurricane Rana, got caught. Gory lands on his feet again. I think Duke wide-eyed like he's seen a ghost. Duke doesn't know what to do. Duke just tries to stunt the momentum of Gory for a moment because Gory's hitting from all sides.
Well, Joe, that's a smart move. Sometimes that's what you got to do. You just got to stop him. That's the best way to...
Gory continues to try to fight free from Duke's grasp. Duke can't get a grip on him.
I think Duke has firm control of him right now. Gory can only use that speed so often against the metahuman.
DDT by Gory!
But he can also use momentum.
Counter out of nowhere, 2 count only. Gory, the man that many people think BC Steel should be premier champion. Mathis was seconds away from tapping out at November Pain until LeRusso caused a disqualification.
Well, now, Joe, wait a minute. Now you're starting to put a puzzle together that doesn't have all the pieces. I don't think he was seconds from tapping away. We're never going to know that.
And now we see LeRusso involved. Duke tagged out, heir apparent is in. Look at Tony Johnson trap Gory in the corner. Gory's got to fight his way out.
Well, Gory has no problem doing that.
Elbow to LeRusso. LeRusso just a death grip on Gory to try to keep him out of... Oh, and here comes Atticus.
Oh, Chris, run. Joe, this isn't fair.
Not fair. This is retribution personified.
No, but Joe, he's the leader.
Atticus considers himself the leader. And now everybody's fighting. That's how quick turf war can break down into a gang mentality.
Well, Joe, we're going to have action on all sides of the ring. Hopefully everybody's paying attention.
Gory still wants a piece of Mathis. He's the uncrowned premier champion. Atticus wants to beat the hell out of LeRusso for Brother Otis. We got 2 referees, and they don't have a prayer control in this. Remy gets the foot up on Duke.
Gee, Duke Davis just stopping you. Talking about stopping momentum.
My God, there's bodies everywhere.
Well,
Duke with Remy. Remy counters. Oh, got caught. Got goozled. Well, Remy into a DDT. Shades of a month ago. Remy going to eliminate. And once again, Tony Johnson intervenes.
I mentioned earlier, Tony Johnson could be the X factor in this match.
And Tony pulling Duke to the corner to make a legal tag.
Smart move, nice legal tag. See there, Tony Johnson's heck of a guy, heck of a guy.
Heck of a guy. Oh, that kick to the face counter this time. Remy was waiting. Remy with the sling blade connects beautifully. It is carnage all over Turner's Hall, but in the ring, the culmination, ruling the roost, inverted DDT. Remy on top. We have our first elimination.
Iceman Tony Johnson has been eliminated.
Remy avenges a month ago the 8-man tag at Holiday Havoc, but Remy doesn't see what's waiting for him. Ganon the distraction. Here comes LeRusso with a forearm.
Well, that's a smart move by LeRusso. You know, LeRusso's a smart man's wrestler.
flatliner drives Remy hard, face first. LaRusso may have knocked him out. And just like that, it's 4-on-4.
See, Joe, that's why LaRusso's a great leader. LaRusso, not only a great leader, a good friend, always has your back.
Uppercut!
Oh, shut up!
Uppercut!
Shut up!
Uppercut! Sonny Defarge picking up the fight where his Culmination brethren left off, but LaRusso chop blocks the knee.
I hear you yelling that like a maroon.
Duke Davis tagged in. And Duke successful over Crummels and Defarge, I believe back in the month of November. Haven't looked back since. Crummels and Defarge would love to have another opportunity at the tag team titles. Perhaps an elimination here of the champions could give them some help on that journey.
Well, it's certainly very possible.
Here comes Mathis.
We now have the forever champion in the ring.
Imagine if somebody pins her on Mathis. What that could mean to their future premier title aspirations.
More important question, what is that going to do for the psyche of Ron Mathis?
Could it get much worse?
That's a fair point. I don't understand how Chris LeRusso controls Ron Mathis. He's talking about pulling the strings, but I don't know if Ron Mathis has had all the strings there for quite a while, if I may say.
Seems like forever since he's had his strings. Focusing on the knee of Sonny Defarge. Defarge about 6'4". Mathis is neutralizing the biggest man on Team Culmination, and Mathis sent to the floor. Desperation move by Defarge. Can he get to the corner? He cannot, but Mathis does. LeRusso back in.
You know, LeRusso directing traffic out there. Not an easy thing to do. Well, LeRusso got to get out of the corner.
Atticus only needs a little bit of an opening. Atticus is very carnivorous when he sees LeRusso. He will absolutely destroy, annihilate, if he can devour LeRusso whole. He'll turn LeRusso into one of his masks.
Well, there's a scary thought.
Those masks Atticus wears, made out of human flesh, representative of all of his prior victims in and before pro wrestling. Draw your own conclusions. Defarge, great leverage move to drop LeRusso down to counter. The leg grapevine into the side headlock. And notice LeRusso goes back to his comfort zone.
Well, that's why LeRusso had, when you have two guys that are 6'5", 6'6", that kind of gives you an advantage.
Davis, the metahuman, just physically speaking, without peer in Premier Championship Wrestling.
Well, no doubt about it. There is one Duke Davis. No one else compares. If you're going to find a guy
it feels like there's more than one because Ganon getting involved from the outside.
Well, if you're going to have a guy that might be able to compare to him size and power-wise, you have Ganon Jones Jr. on the same team, of course.
This has been so chaotic. We've got two officials out here. We've seen this much out of control action.
Well, I think for this you could have about 10 officials, and you'd still have a mess on your hands. You have Ron Mathis is a ball of energy, I just want to point out, by the way.
No off switch.
You've got a ball of excellence in Ganon Jones Jr. and Duke Davis. You've got a ball of energy in Ron Mathis, and you have a ball of honesty and dignity in Chris LeRusso.
Dignity?
Absolutely.
Oh, maybe a punt. Jeez. Right to the side of the head, right to the temple. And Gory quickly interrupts the fall. Gory, not intimidated by anybody in canon, telling Gory, you just missed me. It's Ganon again, zeroing in on the knee of Sonny Defarge. It has been damaged for several minutes.
Well, if he keeps stretching out those legs and that knee,
you notice the helplessness on the face of the Culmination and Crummels.
That's absolutely the case, and you'd have to think that Chris LeRusso is just loving this right now. And what's better than a happy Chris LeRusso?
Happy Chris LeRusso is a dangerous Chris LeRusso because LeRusso can be corrupted very easily when he feels the least bit of power. And he's been feeling damn powerful for a long time now.
Now, Joe, that is a lie.
And that's a handoff that's very impressive. From one TME member to another, and that's about 240 pounds of Sonny Defarge.
And he's doing a squat with him. It's one thing to be able to squat weight, but when it's fighting against you, that's another story entirely.
Yeah, Defarge trying to kick his way free. Look at this. He does! Defarge gets Ganon over.
Again, Jones Jr. might have been showboating just a little bit too much. LeRusso's certainly at a loss for words. Ron Mathis is at a loss for a lot of things.
Can Defarge get to his corner? Here comes Atticus. And here comes Duke. Atticus beelines for LeRusso. Duke beelines for Crummels, and they meet halfway. Atticus. Those knee strikes have been very advantageous against TME.
May have seen a blind tag.
Atticus doesn't care. He'll fight the world. Ganon. Oh, he rocked Atticus with that shot. And Duke and Ganon measuring Atticus, who's had some recent concussion issues. Whoa, wait a minute. Cornelius just took a bullet for Atticus. That knockout shot, 2 boots to the skull. Cornelius took a bullet for Atticus, and Cornelius is out.
Crummels did the honorable thing. I never thought we'd be talking about that when it comes to Atticus, but it backfired. He paid for it.
Well, Cornelius knew how badly Atticus wanted this. Cornelius went down fighting, but unfortunately, what are the repercussions? Because now it's 4-on-3.
But Joe, let's focus on the important thing here. The Chris LeRusso court has the advantage.
Oh, without question, they do.
And I know it's a royal court, but I think of another court. Let me just say, here come the judge. Here come the judge.
Well, I think you can look at that court as a dual meaning here. Wait, now Defarge checks Duke to the floor.
Well, that's certainly one way to get. Oh, wait a minute.
Ganon gets rocked. And without Crummels to help him, Defarge explodes with a clothesline.
Almost knocked Ganon right out of his boots. Joe, that could be. We could even this up.
Ganon is motionless, and Ganon is out of there.
Jones Jr. has been eliminated.
Joe, I wonder what that shot took out of Defarge. Oh, did you see the look on Duke Davis's face? That's not. Oh no. Not a man you want to anger, Joe.
But Defarge isn't scared. Straps come down. And let's fight about it. Defarge is daring Duke Davis to bring it. Uppercut. These are the only 2 members of their respective traditional tag teams. Ganon and Crummels eliminated. Defarge and Duke with pride on the line. Not to mention each with 2 partners counting on them. And Defarge and Duke to the floor. Man, what a collision.
I think Defarge may have landed on that knee again.
And Crummels and Ganon are still fighting. This is absolute carnage.
Well, Joe, we got to get some sense of order here. I understand. We know what this turf war is all about, but you've got way more bodies than you have officials at this point. Feel free to go down there and handle things.
Well, I'd rather not, honestly. I want these guys to fight it out amongst themselves. Referee's decision, whatever they can get, is final.
Wait a minute. Speaking of,
Sonny Defarge and Duke Davis have been eliminated by counting.
Oh, both men legal, counted out, and just like that, we're down to 2-on-2. Mathis and LeRusso versus Atticus and Gory, and they're still fighting.
well, Joe, we didn't have any more officials in the back, so this could be going on for quite a while. But
well, what about the fight in the ring?
Mathis, LeRusso, Atticus, and Gory.
As the action continues to spill over throughout Turner's Hall, you gotta believe Crummels and Defarge in the main event will have another day. Atticus biting Mathis. LeRusso trying to neutralize Gory. These are the last 4 legal men in turf war. And Gory saves Atticus. Atticus reverses. Mathis is trapped. Oh, Gory with a mist! But Gory accidentally hit Atticus with a mist. LeRusso and Mathis from behind.
And this is going to put, obviously, Gory at a great disadvantage. We got a 2-on-1 right now. Again,
A rare culmination miscue, and thanks to Gory attempting a knockout shot, Gory's now all alone, at least temporarily. Atticus still legally in the match, but blinded.
So now you've got 4 eyes against 2 in a sense. You know, Ron Mathis is pretty strong.
Well, if you don't believe him, ask Gory.
That would be Lucha Mathis. Or Mathis Lucha, whichever you prefer.
Here comes the heir apparent once again. Looking out for his meal ticket, Mathis. And Gory is a sitting duck at this point. I haven't always gotten along with Gory, but he's always had that resiliency, that staying power. But how much more does he have? 20 plus minutes deep into turf war, 2-on-1 odds at the moment, but Gory barely able to kick out of possibly the best leg drop in the business.
Absolutely. Nobody gets the height that Chris LeRusso gets. I don't want to question my friend, but he did not hook the leg. And I will say LeRusso should know better went in there with somebody like Gory.
Nobody there in the chop, and Gory fires away. Gory can feel that thirst for flesh coursing through his veins, but LeRusso out of the way, and Gory took a very ugly spill.
Well, Ron Mathis going to go help him up.
Taking advantage. Oh, his would-be challenger sent to the steel.
And Ron Mathis always there to lend a hand. A very charitable individual, Joe.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, he's an individual.
And LeRusso in his element. But Gory kicks out. LeRusso would love to prove that the entire culmination is beneath him. That LeRusso's better than them because of the money he's got, or the background he has, or the way he looks, or thinks, or talks.
Joe, you forgot about the power.
Yeah, not to mention the championship gold, right?
That's the most important thing. So all of you know that Chris LeRusso doesn't think he's better than everybody. There's some people he feels that are just right below him on that level.
Oh, that's good to know. The forever knife-edge chops from Mathis. Gory still fighting Mathis to the floor.
We saw another tag.
I don't think Gory saw it.
Oh, he knows now.
And LeRusso and Gory jockeying for position here. LeRusso elevates Gory. Gory counters. Oh, what a thrust kick.
He caught that right on the button, right on the jaw. Joe, it's over.
It's 2-on-1 now? No. Oh, LeRusso can't believe it, but Gory's still alive. It would have been Mathis and LeRusso versus a blinded Atticus had LeRusso gotten his way.
You suck!
LeRusso feels about all the culmination, about all of Cleveland. Atticus and Gory both get that thirst for flesh.
Not exactly where LeRusso wants to be right now.
LeRusso's being pinballed. Oh, look at this. A spike pile driver. Double stomp! LeRusso spiked! And he's out of there. He may be out of the business.
LeRusso has been eliminated.
Joe, wait a minute.
And now it's 2-on-1, but not the way potentially we thought.
Well, Ron Mathis said it isn't fair because it's 2-on-1 he doesn't want it.
I don't care. That's the rules. And both men a vested interest in getting their hands on Mathis.
Joe, I think Ron Mathis is going to crack. Well,
You people think I'm afraid if I puzzle it by myself? I said, do you people think I'm afraid if I can puzzle by myself? I am the longest reigning champion this crap hole has ever seen. I will be the champion forever.
forever.
For you two is I'll get back to get the reins and to both of you. It's your passion time.
Well, Mathis looks to be showing no fear. Never mind, Mathis getting out of here. But he's not going to make it.
He's got him by the ears.
Gory, a handful of ears. Atticus waiting as well. Culmination double team Mathis out of his feet. Atticus with a brain hemorrhage. Gory the QAS. Atticus the jackknife pin. Wait a second. Mathis just got pinned.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Mathis has been eliminated. Your winners and sole survivors of Turf War, Atticus, Cogar, and Gory.
I hate to leave you, but I got a decision to make. I'll be back.
Well, once again, Joe Dombrowski taking off apparently has some form of announcement as we see Atticus, Cogar, and Gory reign supreme over Chris LeRusso's court.
Culmination, congratulations on the victory. I gotta admit, I wasn't always the biggest fan of you guys, but you guys have played it as your turf. You fought for what you believe in, and I respect that. One order of business we need to clear up, though. Ron Mathis, thank you, Mr. Gordon. Ron Mathis says he'll be the career champion forever. I think it feels like forever since he's defended the thing. So I've got the date in mind for Ron Mathis' next title defense. It'll be in this building on Saturday, March the 9th. But before we get to March 9th, we got to crown a new #1 contender, and that's what we're doing on February the 2nd. Gory! Mathis was on the verge of tapping out in your last title defense, and you just pinned him in this ring. So I feel that Gory deserves another opportunity to be premier champion. What do you guys think? And after what we've seen in this ring, I think there's only one fair decision to make to crown a conclusive challenger for Ron Mathis. Gory, February 2nd, you will be in a #1 contenders match against the other guy that just pinned Ron Mathis, Atticus Cogar.
Wow. You just heard Joe Dombrowski's edict. It's going to be Atticus Cogar against Gory on February 2nd to see who goes on to March 9th to take on Ron Mathis for that Premier Championship. It's going to be Culmination member against Culmination member, for the ultimate goal being the man to go against Ron Mathis for that Premier Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, for Joe Dombrowski, I am Benjamin C. Steele. We're just getting started when it comes to the Premier Championship.